Hurt Locker is from director Catherine Bigelow. I love Catherine.
She related to Deuce Bigelow?
Bigelow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Doesn't that blow your mind?
It does. It just did.
She is related to a fictional character.
I was bringing up a joke, and you just made it
I know
really
these things.
funny.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So she's a phenomenal director. She busts the door down on the female stereotype by making what we could sort of colloquially refer to as dude movies.
Yeah.
She is a master of all genres, doing the horror flick with Near Dark, the science fiction movie with Strange Days, the action movie, the
caper movie with
Point Break. And K-19, The Widowmaker, Submarine. I mean, she's done every genre.
I liked K-19 a lot. I think it was really underrated.
Is that the one with,
it's great.
With Harrison Ford and the horrible accent?
It's freaking intense.
Once you get past the accent,
well, I
Harrison
don't even
Ford.
care about that.
Anyway,
I know, that's
so
what you got past it.
Here, Catherine Bigelow tackles the Iraq War film. But I think that's misleading because Iraq film and war film, they conjure certain images, but it really is a bomb squad film. So it's blown away.
So think Monster Squad, but with
bombs. Thank you. And it stars Jeremy Renner as an elite bomb squad specialist dude, and his team.
And talk about a couple casting famous people in small roles.
Yeah,
that seems also like a favor.
Epic.
Like, hey, you just work for a day.
Epic.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And the guy from We Are Marshall. The kid from We Are Marshall.
And the kid, he's in We Are Marshall as well? Okay.
Yeah. Is his friend, the guy who,
I know you're referring to. So, go ahead, Alex.
Wow, I really enjoyed this movie. I was sort of surprised because Iraq war movie, not my cup of tea. I was like, war movie usually I'm like, eh. But this is more blown away than, you know, an Iraq war movie. I think Jeremy Renner is great. I thought the whole cast was great. I think this movie has probably one of the most intense and crazy sniper sequences of any movie I've ever seen. I mean, that sniper sequence was mind-blowing. So I enjoyed it way more. That said, from watching the trailer, I didn't really have all that much high expectations for it going in because I was like, oh yeah, okay. I mean, Jeremy Renner, hadn't really seen him in anything sort of as the lead role, even though he did Dahmer, which I've heard he was amazing in. So I sort of had low expectations and went in. There are definitely scenes where it's like so freaking intense. It's ridiculous. It's gorgeous. It looks gorgeous. It gets a little slow in the middle a little bit, and I thought the end could have been a little chop, chop, chop. I get what she was doing. So I don't think it's a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought it was a really, really enjoyable, fun film.
Yeah, I liked a lot of it, but it's interesting, the thing I didn't like is it sounds like exactly what you liked. I think it got too Hollywood. Because actually what happens is it turns into this movie about this superhuman man without fear rather than a human being, and that kind of bugged me. And I agree with you that basically what the movie is a series of vignettes of bomb disarms. And it's incredible that she manages to basically put the character in the same situation 4 or 5 times. I mean, it's different a little bit, but it's basically doing the same thing, and it's never any less compelling, intense, and absolutely riveting. You know, that's an accomplishment. And you know, you've seen a bomb disarm scene in lots of different movies, but here it is so incredibly heart-wrenching because even at the point where he doesn't need to be doing it, I mean, it seems to happen over and over that he gets himself in these situations of like, you don't even need to do this. Which to me is like the sort of superhero side where it just detaches from reality for me, and especially the end. I was really let down by the end because
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, this movie's getting a lot of praise, and for whatever reason, I just sort of liked it. I really expected to love this movie, and I really just sort of liked it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I think Jerry Renner is absolutely a star. And seeing him, yeah,
you said Jerry. Sorry.
Oh, I don't think I did. But seeing him in this movie is a lot like seeing Colin Farrell in Tigerland, which was his first American film and also a war film. And they play very similar roles in being very anti-hero and badass and dudes that you just wish you could be that cool. He's just got a charisma to him that's remarkable. I never really felt as tense as I did in the opening sequence. Even that sniper battle, I just didn't. And ultimately, you know, what I gleaned from this experience though was that there really are two kinds of war movies. There are soldiers are heroes, like Saving Private Ryan, and there's war madness, like Jarhead or Full Metal Jacket or whatever. You know, and this is the war madness genre. You know, the filmmaking is phenomenal.
It's much lighter than those two movies that you mentioned.
Sort of. I don't know.
As far as on the madness tip, it's much.
It
doesn't feel as dangerous as those movies, you know.
Dangerous. But I just want to say that, you know, the film. While I didn't love the story, the filmmaking really was terrific. And you know, other movies like this, like Blown Away, are about the size of the explosion, and Blown Away has one of the classically the biggest explosion. And this movie isn't about the size of explosion, kind of similar to what Ridley Scott did in Body of Lies. It's about the motion of the ocean. It's about the details of the explosion and what things that happen that you don't normally think about. It's like Jerry Seinfeld saying a joke about things that you take for granted in life, and when he says it, you're like, oh yeah, that's so true.
You're like, yeah, airplane food is bad.
It does that for bombs. It's like, oh yeah, that would happen when a bomb goes off, and that very cool.
Super cool.
I think the performances across the board are great.
Yeah. Just
some
the story.
Some great
Once again,
cameos.
I don't know, just like Public Enemies, like I've already gotten these themes and these feelings from other war films. I didn't need.
I wish it had been a little bit more like Generation Kill.
I don't know what that is, but let's do it.
HBO series, it's great. You should check it out.